What's up, everybody? It's your boy J-Rod. So today's video, I'm going to be doing a Morocco overview. I'm going to be covering things I like, I dislike. So before I get into this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. All right, let's go. All right, so just a little backstory. This was actually my mom's Christmas gift from me, all expenses paid trip to Morocco, and we had a blast. I'm not going to lie, it was a little awkward in the beginning because 98% of the time I travel alone because I am a solo traveler, so it did feel weird at first traveling with somebody, but I actually do kind of like traveling with people because you get to share that experience. But yeah, we had a really amazing time. She loved it. Oh, and if you haven't watched my Morocco vlogs, I'll add the playlist right here. All right, so I got my notebook right here, and pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do a breakdown of each city that we visited, and then from there I'm just going to go through all the categories of like kind of what I do in all my country review videos. I just talk about the different things to expect when you're traveling there. So I do got a lot to talk about, so I'm just gonna get straight into this. All right, so during our trip to Morocco, we stayed in 4 different cities. The first city we stayed in, well, basically was our home base, was Casablanca. So that's where our hotel was. We stayed at the Hilton Garden Inn, Casablanca, and it was a really nice hotel. It had a restaurant connected to it, so that was pretty convenient. In terms of Casablanca, that city is the city of business, so it's not really a lot of tourist stuff going on in Casablanca. They do have the mosque and the city tours downtown that you need to go visit. I don't remember the name of the mosque because, y'all, this has been months ago, so I'm just trying to recall this off the top of my head, but they do have this nice, beautiful mosque in the city center, which is pretty nice. And then they also have a really beautiful mall there in Casablanca, and it has like pretty much everything you can think of. It has all the high-end stores like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga. They have stuff for normal people like Adidas, Nikes, pretty much anything you need to find in the mall, it is in this mall. It was huge, and yeah, it was really nice. So yeah, Casablanca, this is more like a business city. Think of it like kind of like their version of New York, but nowhere near as big as the real New York City, but it's just kind of like this is the city of business. The next city we visited was Arabat. It looks like it's pronounced rabbit, but it's actually Arabat. But this is kind of like their version of Beverly Hills, okay? That's kind of the vibe it gave me, like California with like the palm trees and the beaches. But they have some really, really, really beautiful homes there. And we actually visited like one of the kings. It was either the king of Morocco or the prince. It was somebody's palace, but it was gorgeous. And like I said, in Arabat, they have like that beachfront that looks really, really beautiful. And unfortunately, at the time we went, it was during their winter season, so we didn't actually get to go on the beach. But I imagine during the summer when it's like hot, that place is probably like booming with tons of people. And they had tons of nice restaurants. We actually did get to eat at one of the restaurants, and it was pretty good. You definitely have to check out Arabat. Oh, and I also forgot to mention that Arabat is probably like 2 hours away from Casablanca, so not too far. Okay, the next city we went to was Chefchaouen. Y'all, that city was far as hell. I think it was like a 5-hour trip from Casablanca. But because that city sits on a mountain, it took a lot longer to get up there. And I remember our tour guide from the day before when we were in Arabat, we told him we were going to Chefchaouen, and he was like, man, that's like 5 hours away. I was like, really? And so, but yeah, we had to get up super early, like probably 5 o'clock that morning, 5 or 6. Definitely Chefchaouen is a really cool city. It kind of reminded me of when I visited the favelas in Rio. Kind of had like those Lego stack houses, except the only difference was everything was painted blue. And it's just like this beautiful, gorgeous city that's like hidden off in the hills. And you have to go through like all these pastures and mountains to get up there. And like the ride up there is absolutely breathtaking. It's just this beautiful city that's just like secluded in the mountains and kind of hidden off from society. So I definitely feel like if you get an opportunity to come to Morocco, that is a trip that you must put on your bucket list. All right, and then the last city we visited was Marrakech. Y'all, these names, okay? But yeah, that was actually my favorite city we visited. Now, if you want a true, like just wholesome Moroccan experience, this is the city that you need to visit. Okay, it definitely gave me like that full, like integrated feel. Like I really felt like I was like up close and personal with the people. They had like lots of marketplaces. They had these places called souks or souks. And you can just walk through the marketplace, and they sell so many handmade items. Like, it was really cool. And then they have like the little square in the center, so that's where I got to like meet the snake charmers. And my mom, she's terrified of snakes, so like that was like her biggest fear. So I went over there alone. I think we got to visit some of the palaces of like some of the kings back in that era. And then in Marrakech, we also did the desert camel ride, which I accidentally kicked the camel in the face. Quick story, I remember, so I was getting off the camel, my back leg, it sideswiped the camel behind me in the face, and the camels, they're like tethered together. So when I kicked the camel in the face by accident getting off, he stood up, and then it made my camel stand up. So then it flung me upside down. So I'm literally like dangling upside down. And you know, them camels are tall. They're at least over 6 feet when they're like standing up. They gotta be like 7 feet, 8 feet tall. So I'm just like hanging upside down, and then the handlers, they come over there running to catch me before I fall on my face. But it was pretty funny. But yeah, so I did accidentally kick a camel in the face. Tall people problems. And then there are some other cities in Morocco that we didn't get a chance to visit. There's one, if I do return, it's called Fez. I do want to go there. And then there's another one called Tangier. That's like at the very, very north coast, almost near Spain. So if I do go back, I want to go to Fez and Tangier. I hear both are really good places, but overall, I mean, the 4 cities we went to, Marrakech was my #1, then it was Chefchaouen, Arabat, and then Casablanca. Yeah. All right, so now that we got the cities covered, I'm just gonna go break down straight through these categories. I don't want to spend too much time on this, so I'm gonna go really quick. All right, first impressions. I was not expecting as much farmland as I saw. In my mind, I envisioned just like tons of desert because I had just came back from Egypt. I was just envisioning that it was just gonna be desert, but like no, it's tons and tons of farmland in Casablanca, like when we first landed. So that was pretty interesting, and it was beautiful. Another thing I noticed was the weather. So it was kind of chilly. I did not pack correctly, and once again, I was basing it from my previous trip to Egypt where it was like 90 something degrees, but over there it was their winter season when we went. It is gonna be kind of chilly, so like some mornings like I definitely needed a jacket, and that's why if you saw in some of my Instagram pictures, I was wearing like that Batman thing. It's called a jalaba. That's like traditional Moroccan clothing. That's like what the kings wear, and so that was like the only thing that they had in the marketplace. So people, they would call me Batman. But honestly, the weather, it was just like, it kind of felt like fall weather. It wasn't too cold, but it wasn't too hot. All right, the next category, we're gonna talk about the people. Moroccan people are some of the most friendliest people I've ever met in my entire life. And I don't really say that often, so that's a good thing if I say that, because I have been to some countries. For example, when we went to Paris, they were just extremely rude to us in Paris. Like, I kind of just wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt and just say, like, maybe that's just how people in Paris act. But they were just very, very, very stuck up and snooty, and they were not friendly at all. But then when we got to Morocco, it was just like the complete opposite. The people were just super, super kind, warm, and welcoming. And also, they just kind of minded their business. Like, that was one of the things I loved about Moroccan people, is they kind of just kept to themselves and they minded their business. And then, of course, if you're a foreigner, they will help you. But they were just like really, really chill, friendly, laid back people. Like, just super, super peaceful people. All right, next category, we're gonna talk about the language. Now, this one was tricky, I'm not gonna lie. Me and my mom, we struggled with this one a lot. So the primary language in Morocco is Arabic, but their secondary language is French. So that's something that surprised me, that they speak a lot of French in that country. Okay, but Morocco has so many different languages. Like, they speak Arabic, they speak French, and then they spoke like this other language, just like their native mother tongue is called Berber. Randomly, you would just go somewhere and people, they knew Spanish, and it just was like this huge mixture of languages. And I guess it was like sensory overload, just trying to like figure out how do we like introduce ourselves. But yeah, like, don't be surprised to see someone speaking Arabic and then in the same mid-sentence they switch over to French. So like, it was just kind of hard like keeping up with the languages, but we did have Google Translate, and so that did kind of come in clutch, especially when we went to the restaurants. And now with Google Translate, you can actually take pictures of the menu and then it can like translate it for you. So that was pretty nice. But you did find some people that did speak English here and there, but you know how that goes. It's kind of broken. But yeah, not gonna lie, the language situation was kind of, yeah, it was a little bit tricky, especially in Chefchaouen, that city hidden off in the hills. They spoke like 5 languages in that city, and it's kind of like they take different languages and combine it together. And that's pretty much the whole country of Morocco. Is like, it's so many languages just kind of combined, and they create their own language. It's pretty cool, actually. All right, next category is safety. I felt perfectly safe in Morocco. There was not one moment where I felt like I was in danger. That probably was like one of the safest countries. You know, I said Egypt was a safe country, but like, I think Morocco has them beat. Like, Morocco, it really was just super peaceful. Like, it was a vibe for real. So definitely don't have to worry about if somebody's gonna try to like attack you or do anything. The people there are very, very peaceful. I didn't feel unsafe at all. Like, I was taking taxis at nighttime, or the people there are very, very, very nice. Like, super, super nice, almost too nice. All right, the next category is food. One thing that Moroccans know how to do is cook some food, okay? One of the things I appreciated the most about that country is the variety of food that they had. It was just so many different types of food. If you do go to Morocco, you have to try their famous, it's called tagine. And they have like different types, like chicken tagine, beef tagine. They have seafood. So, I mean, we had fish, we had calamari. I mean, we really just were living like royalty out there. Now, the only two things I did not care for is their rice. Just don't really care for how they cook their rice in Morocco. And then there was this one dish that we had in Chef Showing. It was like called a chicken Bastille, kind of like this chicken pot pie thing, and then it's like shredded chicken on the inside, but they put powdered sugar on the top of it. And me and my mom, we was kind of like, I don't know how we feel about that one, like sugar and chicken. I was like, yeah, that's not like a really good combination. They also had camel burgers. We did not try that, but I remember the tour guide asked us if we wanted to try a camel burger, and nobody in the group wanted it. We were just like, no thank you, but they do have that as an option out there if you want to try a camel burger. Tea, that is really, really big in Morocco, so you're gonna have tea with almost every single meal. Not almost, every single meal they're gonna offer like this green mint tea. And my mom, she wasn't a fan of it because like it made her very jittery. Because they do put a lot of sugar in it and put like a big block of sugar in the tea on top of it. I actually liked it. It tasted really good to me. They give it to you anywhere you go. So like anytime you walk into a shop or a store, they'll offer you tea. In the desert, they'll offer you tea. Any dinner, breakfast, or lunch, you'll get tea. It's kind of just like this cultural tradition that they offer tea. So when you do go to Morocco, just be expecting people are gonna offer you tea with almost every single meal. All right, prices or the exchange rate. Morocco is cheap, okay? Like if you have American dollars or euros, you'll be fine out there. I think on average, you're probably gonna spend anywhere from $12 to $15 a day on food. And that's just like if you go to like regular restaurants. Now, I know the hotel restaurant we stayed at for me and my mom, and I mean, we had like a 3-course meal. So we had entrees, appetizers, drinks, all that stuff. I think for like all of our food together, it was probably like $30. And it was a meal in the States that's probably gonna be like $80 to $90. So that was pretty nice. A $30 meal that would normally cost you almost $100 in the States. Like, you can't really beat that. In terms of like the excursions, like I told you, I was using TripAdvisor, and on average, the trips range anywhere from like $70 to $120. And a lot of those trips did include lunch. So like when you are booking your excursions, they do like hotel pickup, and they will include like lunch out there. So you're not really gonna have to spend money on food. But taxi rides were pretty cheap, like $2 for like maybe a 20-minute trip. All right, got 2 more categories real quick. I'm gonna wrap this up. So the next category is traffic. Traffic to me was not that bad. Now, my mom, she feels differently. She thinks like their traffic and their driving is crazy, but I've been to way more countries than her, and I was trying to explain to her that like I've seen a lot worse. Okay, go to Cairo, Egypt. Okay, if you go see the traffic in Cairo and they have no like stoplights or anything, it's just every man for himself. Or hell, go to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, and see how they drive, where they don't even follow the rules of the road. Like, everything is just like a suggestion over there. So it's just like any other big city, you're gonna have traffic. But like once you get outside the city and you're going in between cities, like let's say you're leaving Casablanca, you're going to Ardabat, or Ardabat to Marrakech, Marrakech to Chef Showing, like when you're driving on those roads, a lot of them is like 2-lane highways, so it's really not that much traffic. But of course, like in Casablanca, that's probably where you're gonna see the most of it. But I personally didn't think it was that bad. Now my mom, she's a bit dramatic sometimes, and she was just like, oh my God, like they drive so crazy. I'm like, this ain't nothing. All right, and then the last category is Gringo Experience. I say Gringo a lot because a lot of the times I'm in Latin America, although like this isn't a Latin American country. So we're just gonna say like the American or the foreigner experience, okay? Surprisingly, we did not really get scammed as much as I have in other countries. Some countries, it's just like scam after scam after scam. And most of the times, if we did get scammed in Morocco, we were warned ahead of time. So like, that's why it's good to kind of like have a tour guide because they'll tell you. The only time I really got scammed was, well, I didn't get scammed because my tour guide told me what was gonna happen is when I met the snake charmer. He said like he's gonna ask you for $20, but it's actually $2 for the pictures. So when I went over there, of course, I took my photo with the snake, and then he was like trying to upcharge me to $20, and I gave him, I think I ended up giving him like $5. I was like, here, dude, just take it.
A snake charmer in Morocco tried to scam me $20 for a photo that really costs $2.
Good.
No, take it.
How much?
No, take it.
Give me 200.
Take it. But yeah, they will try you like that. But once again, the tour guides, they were really nice and generous by like pre-warning us. But in Morocco, we were not harassed like that. Like if people did ask for something or try to sell something, if we said no, like they pretty much just took it the first time. It wasn't like a continuous, hey, buy this, buy this, buy this, or people tapping you. All right, so that concludes this Morocco video. Overall, I give this country a solid 9 out of 10. There really isn't much that I can say that's bad about this place. I mean, pretty much every city we went to, we were treated with respect. The people were nice, the food was good, the weather was good, the scenery was good. So yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about this country. I definitely recommend it. And if you have any questions, you know where to hit me up. All right, but thank you so much guys for watching this video. Catch me on my next one. Peace.